Tonight on Entertainment Roundup, American Idol judge Bryan stuns a contestant with a shocking quit music remark. Carrie Underwood finally meets a country legend she's waited years to see, and in the K-pop world, the girls of Kieras put their teenage dreams on hold for superstardom. American Idol judge Bryan allegedly told contestant to quit music after his audition. Bryan might not always been seen giving the most critical comments to contestants on American Idol, but one former contestant reports the judge suggested he quit music following a failed audition. One of the biggest critiques many, myself included, have about the current era of American Idol is that the judges on the show don't tend to offer much in the way of constructive criticism. Even in the most recent season, when contestants were forgetting their lyrics in the final stretch of the season, the judges glossed over the mistakes rather than holding the contestants accountable with actual critiques in their feedback. Perhaps it's for that reason why it's so surprising to learn that Bryan was overly critical of one particular contestant who has since gone on to enjoy success in the industry. Evan Honer first auditioned for American Idol back in 2022. Like so many other hopefuls, Honer went into the audition hoping to impress the judges and make a run in the competition that could help make his dreams of breaking into the music industry possible. Instead, he was met with harsh criticism, with Bryan reportedly going as far as telling him to quit music and stick to diving, in a reference to Honer's background as a former D1 swimmer. Opening up on his experience on the Thicket with Mike and Josh podcast, Honer recalled having to convince his diving coach to allow him to miss practice only for Bryan and his fellow judges at the time, Lionel Richie and Katy Perry, to leave him crushed with their feedback. "I had to beg my coach to let me miss. It was like one day of practices, but you can't miss practices. One day, I drove up just by myself. I was the only one that didn't have somebody with them. I was just by myself in the nicest hotel I've ever been in," Honer reflected. "That caught me off guard. Honestly, I thought at least they were going to be nice. It honestly crushed me. That drive home, I was really trying to convince myself. I don't need them. But then, back in my head, I was like, why did they say that? It's a dagger." Reflecting on Bryan's comment that he should give up music and stick to diving, Honer recalls that it destroyed him and left him questioning whether he should indeed give up on his dream. "It destroyed me for a little bit. Because as much as you want to say, no, I don't like Bryan. He sucks anyway. Whatever," Honer confessed. "It's three people that are massive in the industry, who told you that you probably shouldn't do this. And I'm like, you know what? They might be right." Ultimately, Honer kept pursuing his music dreams, and it's worked out quite nicely for him in the end. While Bryan might not have been a fan of Honer, his music has since reached millions of listeners. Since auditioning for American Idol and being turned away in 2022, Honer has released 2 albums with a third set to release on September 19th. He now has 3.3 million monthly listeners on Spotify alone, with several hits under his belt including Jersey Giant, Take Me As I Come, and Foolin' Ourselves. He's currently on tour with dates across the US, Europe, and Australia, with a mix of headlining and festival appearances coming in the final months of 2025. Needless to say, Honer is doing just fine without American Idol's support and is yet another success story of a contestant turned away by the show and its judges. American Idol judge Carrie Underwood reveals the country star she finally just met. Carrie Underwood was thrilled when she met fellow country star Shaboozey. The American Idol winner captioned a photo of her with him smiling to Instagram, writing, "Got to meet at Shaboozey last night. I'm surprised our paths haven't ever crossed before, but I'm glad they finally did." Parade reports both Underwood and Shaboozey performed at VOA Country Fest. Shaboozey became an instant hit with his single A Bar Song, Tipsy, which made it onto Barack Obama's summer playlist in 2024. Despite his success, Shaboozey has been open about stumbling into the country music genre. His hit single earned him 5 nominations at the 2025 Grammy Awards, but he also broke records. The song spent 19 weeks at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 chart, becoming the longest-running #1 song by a solo artist in the history of the chart. "I was honestly just trying to make music that represented where I was from in the States," the Virginia native told Mayhem magazine after admitting that I started making country music without even knowing, entirely, what it was. Growing up in Virginia, I tried to make music that felt like the environment that was around me. I started looking into acoustic guitars, Shabuzi added, noting the Rolling Stones' Sweet Virginia. It's classic, and it's some kind of making a country song or their take on a country song. So, for me, it was making music that represented my environment. Of his foray into the genre in terms of songwriting, he explained his first country song he wrote was titled Boozy Gone Nashville. I remember it was in Virginia. It's about maybe 2015 or 2014, he said, noting he and friends were playing around with a banjo. I was kind of just experimenting, just being an artist, and my friend and I went to his house. He lived in Fredericksburg or Stafford, and he had a banjo, and that was my first time seeing a banjo in person. And he starts playing, and I was like, that is hard. I was like, that's so cool. Let's play it. Let's make a song. E-Junkies, members of new K-pop girl group Kira's put teen life on hold for idol career. With their group name drawn from the Korean word for energy key and the English word rascal, they certainly live up to the youthfulness. Asia One recently spoke with K-pop rookie girl group Kira's, who were in Singapore for a collaboration video shoot with UOB before heading to Malaysia and Japan. The sextet leader Lingling from Malaysia, Kurumi from Japan as well as Kylie, Haerin, Doyeon and Roa from South Korea made their debut on May 29th and have released 2 songs, Kill Ma Bo Dollar Dollar and Ziller. With their oldest member Lingling at 20 years old and youngest Roa turning 14 in October, all but one of the girls have stopped school to pursue their idol dreams. Haerin, 17, shared, in junior high school, I studied hard enough to get first place but then suddenly I wanted to become an idol, so I quit studying and chose to pursue it. Roa, who practiced gugak, traditional Korean music, for 3 to 4 years, added, I quit gugak, which I'd been doing for so long and switched to idol music. Currently, only former child actress Doyeon, who turned 16 in December, attends school and only on days when Kira's don't have activities or music shows planned. On school days, she has to wake up at 5 a.m. to get ready for lessons. For Lingling, Malaysia's first female K-pop girl group member, the opportunity to return home rarely comes by. I don't really have much time to meet my family, so whenever there are long holidays, I'll go back to Malaysia if I can. But recently, I've just been video calling my parents every day, she explained. The other members agreed, saying they video call and communicate with their families in their free time. Adjusting to life as public figures. Kira's debuted with their single Kill Ma Bo Dollar Dollar on May 29th, and its music video has surpassed 7 million views on YouTube. They shared with us their most memorable moments on set. For Doyeon, her pick would be meeting the donkey featured in the video, which she had initially been scared of but had become closer to while filming. Roa described animatedly a scene they filmed in a studio. When everyone sat down on the sofa, real feathers exploded instead of computer graphics. So we all pretended to be surprised but behind the scenes we were giggling, and the other girls said they were too scared to hold hands. They were recently designated Mapo Police Station's crime prevention ambassadors, teaching citizens how to be responsible. How do idols and safety correlate? Haerin shared, as public figures, we feel a responsibility to use our influence in a meaningful way. In our ambassadorship, we want to take part in more campaigns about kindness and safety. On their more imminent goals, 19-year-old Kurumi said, now, our goal is to prepare for our comeback later this year, and we want to rank first on a music program at least once. Lingling added, we want to participate in year-end award shows like Mama and go to Con if there's a chance. One day, we hope to grow bigger like Blackpink in the future. Con is an annual convention and music festival held around the world to celebrate Korean music, beauty, and food. However, being just 2 months fresh out of their debut, the girls are still adjusting to celebrity life. Recalling their arrival at Changi Airport, 17-year-old Kylie said, I feel different from when I was a normal person, especially when we went to the airport this time. Our fans welcomed us so much that I realized again that we are celebrities. Roa expressed, it's hard to believe that it's already been 2 months since our debut, but in the meantime we'd been active and made so many memories together, and I'm so happy and excited to be abroad with the group for the first time. Sharing and learning cultural experiences. With members from different cultural backgrounds, they are also learning more than just music and being an idol. Kurumi shared, I think language is very important when it comes to learning about cultures. It's especially because we're going to Japan soon. I'm teaching everyone the language, the same way Lingling's helping with the English interviews in Singapore and Malaysia. In addition, Lingling wants to integrate ethnic wear into Kiera's performances, such as donning traditional Malaysian attire in a Kilma Bodollar performance. Roa was surprised when she learned something Malaysian from Lingling. There, people don't usually wear pajamas at home, they just wear regular, everyday clothes. And in South Korea when we're at home, we wear pajamas and lie in bed. Watch our E-Junkies interview as they answer a series of Who's Most Likely to questions.